Over the past 3 years, Anthropic's Claude has systematically integrated itself into corporate infrastructure, quietly replacing established legacy systems across the sector. This line and bar graph visualizes that rapid enterprise adoption. Claude's usage jumped 128% year over year, allowing it to capture 54% of the crucial coding assistant market. The founders, a group of former OpenAI researchers, targeted the single largest barrier to enterprise adoption: reliability. They engineered a highly predictable, rule-abiding engine capable of operating safely within chaotic corporate environments. The architectural foundation of this predictability is a system Anthropic calls constitutional AI. Rather than relying on constant human feedback to correct bad behavior, Claude is trained against a 23,000-word philosophical document that explains the reasoning behind its ethical boundaries. This internal rule set functions as a structural safety harness. It allows developers to deploy the model into live environments, knowing it will independently evaluate its own proposed actions against its constitution before executing a task. That capability directly enables tools like Claude Code and the Computer Use API. The model can take control of a mouse and keyboard, read screen states, and execute long-horizon workflows for hours without requiring human intervention. By legally and technically binding the system to a strict moral framework, Anthropic created the exact conditions necessary for safe, fully autonomous operation. By late 2025, this reliability was being leveraged for critical infrastructure. NASA engineers used Claude to independently map and plan a 400-meter route for the Perseverance Mars rover. 2 months later, that same capability intersected with a live combat zone. Reports surfaced that the US military had utilized Claude through Palantir's defense platform during the raid in Venezuela. The deployment immediately triggered a confrontation. The Pentagon issued an ultimatum to Anthropic, demanding the company strip away its usage restrictions and permit all lawful military operations. Anthropic refused the order. Their constitution explicitly prohibits the system from participating in mass domestic surveillance or directing lethal autonomous weapons. The rigid ethical framework that drove Anthropic's enterprise success was now in direct, unresolvable conflict with the operational authority of the state. On February 27, 2026, the federal government demonstrated how it handles disobedient infrastructure providers. The Secretary of War formally designated Anthropic as a national supply chain risk. The directive mandated a complete ban on federal contracts. An American technology company was suddenly subject to the identical containment protocols used to block hostile foreign telecommunications networks. Anthropic responded with a massive legal counteroffensive, filing a lawsuit in federal court that categorized the Pentagon's actions as a retaliatory strike against their First Amendment rights. The confrontation established a clear new standard. The United States government will not allow private vendors to dictate the ethical parameters of its national security operations. In the middle of this legal warfare, Anthropic shipped its next flagship model, Claude Opus 4.7. Opus 4.7 scored 87.6% on Sweatbench, surpassing GPT 5.4 as the top coding model. It processes visual data at 3.75 megapixels, natively reading dense UI elements. Combined with a 1 million token context window, it can rewrite entire codebases simultaneously. The release served as a technical proof of concept. Anthropic's constitutional architecture did not limit the system's intelligence. It produced the most accurate, self-verifying reasoning engine on the market. Yet, while Opus 4.7 represents a distinct engineering victory, the company's fight for geopolitical independence is far from settled. Federal agencies have reclassified frontier models as critical infrastructure, making the internal usage policies of private labs subordinate to the state's determination of lawful use. While Anthropic defends its internal constitution in court, competing laboratories are actively restructuring their own usage policies to secure highly classified military contracts. The race for intelligence has become a geopolitical struggle over whether power is commanded by a private code of ethics or a sovereign state's mandates.